Welcome to the channel for the first time viewers. Welcome back from my existing subscribers. Today I just wanted to touch base with you and talk a little bit about this RX 7000 launch, kind of what I thought about it and what I'm thinking about the performance, and am I happy with the 4080. So we can start off with the launch itself, which everything is sold out, right? So all of it is gone. However, when you look at all the reviews, it's clear that you really just want to go towards the 7900 XTX, right? You don't really want to go for the 7900 XT. It just looks like a waste of time, especially if you have a 6950 XT or even as low as a 60. I would even venture to say 6800 XT, right? So that's not too far off from the 6950 XT. If you are somebody that likes to play ray tracing titles, then again, it becomes this weird thing where why even go that route when you could simply just roll with the 4080 or buckle up and just go for a ride and pick up a 4090. So overall, I think it's going to be a great product, and it's kind of like, right? Because I'm looking at the Call of Duty performance, and they're using the benchmark, which I don't really, it's kind of right? Because depending on where you're on the map, the numbers could vary wildly. You can get as low as like 220 on a 4090. You can get as high as like 300. It really depends on, you know, where you are on the map, how many people are around you, where's the circle. So it's not just as clear cut as looking at this number on the benchmark, seeing, you know, 312 or 311 and being like, oh yeah, that's what I'll get, right? Multiplayer is a little bit more easily predictable. But I say that because I'm looking at the performance, I'm like, damn, that's really good. That's better than the 4090, right? But that's kind of how it was last generation, where the AMD cards dominated. And one thing I started to notice is that if you look at the minimums, the 1% lows, it seems from what I was picking up that they are better on the 7900 XTX than they are on even the 4090. So that's, I don't know if it's just me happening to be paying attention when I looked up, and that's what I had seen, because I've been watching these reviews when I get a little downtime. It's not like something where I'm like fixated and trying to really focus, right? But you know, I'll take a glance up and I'll see, okay, this looks like it has higher lows, and that really is your gaming experience. So just imagine that if they had, you know, patched up their drivers, and now all of a sudden, because the NVIDIA cards, for as much praise as I give NVIDIA, the newest drivers have just been trash. If you're playing Warzone and you have something like image scaling, you might just get a random black screen where it draws everything in black, like inverted colors, right? But it's not really inverted, it's just black, and if you move around you might see a streak of white, which is awful. And it's happened to me closer to Final Circle more often than not, and what I'll do to kind of fix it is, if I remember on the fly, active or deactivate any kind of image scaling. So NVIDIA image sharpening, Fidelity cast. It hasn't really happened. It really happened when I was using NVIDIA image sharpening. Now I think about it. Deactivate that, reactivate it, and it fixes it so you can see again. But again, the issue was that if you're getting into a late game situation, you're gonna lose. Like, that's the dumbest thing. So you're gonna end up getting killed because your whole screen went blank and you're still actively in the game. So that was like one issue. Then we had the flickering. So if you are susceptible to seizures and you happen to be, the game was gonna kill you. The NVIDIA drivers was gonna kill you. So that was another problem that they kind of ironed out early on with a hot fix. So the hot fix was pretty good, but it's just, I don't know, man. And it's kind of this fine line of, is it the game? Because the game's still new and it isn't really well optimized, right? So part of it is the game, or is it the drivers? I'm also having issues on both 4000, so the 4080 and 4090, launching any EA titles and staying inside of a game. So I can't even benchmark Battlefield. I can't benchmark, well, FIFA never worked to begin with. That's on EA. But EA Play and Origin both crash within 1 to 2 minutes of starting a game, right? And the most I've gotten with no overclocks, everything on the actual, and it has nothing to do with my system. So I know in a previous video somebody was like, oh, everything stock means CPU stock, GPU stock, RAM stock. I was running this completely fine on the previous NVIDIA drivers. I'm just too lazy to roll it back, right? I play Battlefield so little, it doesn't make too much sense to roll back my drivers and do all that extra work. So I'm just going to leave it as it is. But I can't benchmark any of those games. And I also have my 6800 XT in the 7950X build, and it worked completely fine. So all in all, let's talk about which one I think you should get if you're in the market for a new card. If money is an issue, you should go ahead and you should get a 4090 and call it a day. Just get the best of all of it, and then close out of all these benchmark videos, even mine, and go enjoy the games, have fun, and you're good. If you are looking for the best bang for buck, then the 7900 XTX on paper, right? From these reviews, not having my own hands-on, looks to be better bang for buck, right? So it looks to be better bang for buck. Sometimes you're getting close to a 4090. In certain games, you're going to beat it. In a lot of situations, you're going to beat a 4080 unless you plan on doing ray tracing. So this is when you should buy a 4080. If you're just looking for set it and forget it, you don't want to have usually any concerns with turning on ray tracing or anything of that sort, then of course you're going to want to go with a card that does it better, right? So that's going to be the 4080 or 4090 if you're trying to keep it in a budget. I'm seeing that, and I don't know if it's causation, right? I don't know if it's because the 7900 XTX and the 7900X are sold out, that all of the 3090s essentially, except the ones that are $1,400 and $1,600 are sold out. I think that has something to do with it, but I think there was a lot of people that were not necessarily fence sitters, but they were kind of sitting there waiting to see, okay, how good is this performance going to be? Is it going to be what they said, 20% faster than my 4080 or the 4080 I'm considering? And it really wasn't, right? So they're like, okay, well, I'll get the 4080 because I do want to play Cyberpunk. I do want to turn on ray tracing. And DLSS 3 is huge. So if you're looking for one, you can only get one. I would say take the lower performance rasterization wise and get the 4080. But again, the best bang for buck, if you don't care about that, you just want straight up, I want a higher FPS most of the time, because even sometimes the 4080 outperforms and by a large amount the 7900 XTX. And we still have to wait to see, because I've been watching Moore's Law is Dead, and from what he's saying, there are some issues with the 7900 XTX and the 7900 XT that they should have gotten more performance. They were aiming for more performance, but something went wrong in the manufacturing, or something went wrong down the line from when they announced it, and they had been working on it behind the scenes to where they actually released it. So it isn't what they had expected. But yeah, take a look at all the different videos. Hopefully this helps you out a little bit. I may, crop this down, put some gameplay in the background so you just aren't looking at my ugly mug the whole time. And if you're here, go ahead and write Cheetos in the chat if you're still in the video at this point, and I will catch you on the flip. Be easy.